California Weather Watch. Today is December 30th, and right now we're looking at the infrared satellite imagery. As you can see, we've got a juicy system off to our south here, and this is going to be moving up across the state of California over the next few days. We'll take a look at the latest on that, and we'll take a look at our next storm train rolling into the region here as we have additional systems coming after that. No rest for the weary here across the state of California. Apparently, this is also going to bring some big wave action that might coincide with some king tide activity as well. So if you guys want an affordable home weather station, it makes it much more fun to watch all this crazy weather we get here in the state of California. Click on that link down below to save 10% off. I highly recommend this weather station. So looking across some of the region, you can see it's really chilly out there this morning. There is some foggy locations, but this will be changing here over the next few days, and especially as we go on through New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. You can see Los Angeles National Weather Service talking about the return of the precipitation across Southern California as well. And it could be some enhanced risk for rock and mudslides, road flooding, all that stuff. So again, you're going to want to check back daily for these individual updates here so we can kind of nail down these details and keep everybody safe. San Diego National Weather Service also talking about it. You can see the timeline. And again, this is subject to change as we go through the next few days, but definitely some more rainfall incoming. Phoenix National Weather Service, which of course does include some portions of California as well, also talking about the rain chances for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Same thing with Las Vegas National Weather Service. So we got a nice bump there across much of the state of California, and hopefully these next weather systems can bring us towards normal or even above normal as far as snow water equivalent is concerned. The reservoirs are doing quite well. And surprisingly, when you look back for the entirety of 2025, there's a lot of areas, you see the yellow, that are actually a bit below normal precipitation wise across a lot of the state. So I was kind of surprised by that. Let me know what you've been seeing out there as well. And then you can see over the last 2 years, there have been some locations that have been below normal here. So kind of a mixed bag across the state of California. But again, another round of systems coming up, and we are drought free across the state of California currently. So here we go at 500 millibars. You can see that system off to our south spinning and then eventually lifting across the area with the help of this next trough. That'll be bringing a potent frontal system probably as we head on in towards the end of the weekend, on in through this weekend, maybe multiple rounds of active weather as we go on into the first week of January. You can see that troughing hanging out all the way through January 6th there, and then it goes January 7th, and who knows what's going to happen after that. But if we look at 500 millibar heights and just look at how unusual it is to have that cold air at this latitude, and that is what's going to bring that nice slug of moisture here over the next couple of days. And then again, this next trough is going to be bringing weather of its own as we go on into the early portion of the new year. As you can see the troughing hang out again, as I mentioned, all the way towards January 7th. Now, if we look at the wave heights, also king tide activity, so do check the tides before you head out, because you can see as we go on into the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th, that's when the king tides are here, and that's when the wave action starts rolling back in. So do be careful out there. Might have some coastal flooding impacts, coastal flood advisories, things of that nature. So do pay attention if you're going out to the coastline this upcoming weekend. And if we take a look here, I want to show you something, because the colors are at 500 millibars. The lines are at the surface. So we do have this system down to the south. I mean, what is this? The Pacific Northwest? You're actually getting a surface response here as this low pressure system moves up towards the Southern California area there. So that'll be our first shot. And then you can see the additional systems rolling in, a deep low right off the Oregon coastline there, with a potent pressure gradient on the south side of that, ushering in another potent frontal system, then perhaps additional systems after that as well. So in the meantime, we do still have some gusty winds, some Santa Ana winds still blowing as we go through the day today, continuing that on in through portions of Wednesday. But you can see it starts to relax a bit more, and then as this low pressure system moves up the coastline, it starts to shift the winds a bit, starts to bring some gusty southerlies up much of the central coast, perhaps as far north as the Bay Area, some of Southern California. And then the next potent frontal system starts to roll in here as we go through the day on Friday, and as we go on in through Saturday morning as well. Some gusty winds and hopefully some good mountain snows with that system there, and maybe another system after that. So looking at precipitation and the timing of it, so if we scroll on in through New Year's Eve, you can see as you're going through New Year's Eve, and there's about the time you're ringing in the new year, you can see some widespread rain across much of the state of California, Las Vegas, western Arizona. So yeah, you might have to prepare for that in your preparations, especially if you're planning to be outdoors. And then you can see a pretty wet New Year's Day across much of the state of California also. Then there's that next powerful frontal system that starts rolling in as we go through the day on Friday, or Friday night on in through the day on Saturday. Hopefully that's a nice mountain snowmaker there as well. Now, if we take a look at the high resolution model, I want to show you something here. The initial blob of precipitation that moves in on New Year's Eve is fairly widespread, steady precipitation coming up across the region. But after that, as we go on in through later portions of New Year's Eve and on in through New Year's Day, that's about midnight right there, you could have some thunderstorm activity right off the coastline here of Southern California, and that could be moving onshore as we go through the morning hours on New Year's Day. So that's definitely kicking the new year off right, in my opinion here. I know a lot of people across Southern California do like to watch the active weather when it rolls in, but yeah, it could be pretty active to kick off the new year. And total precipitation in inches, we'll kind of scroll through here and we'll pay attention to this more as we go, but that's some pretty heavy rainfall across some portions of Southern California. So they're worried about some rock and mudslide activity here again, and then that next frontal system rolls in, bringing additional rainfall, and Northern California does get a turn in this as well. Now, looking at the extended forecast, there's system number one. There's that potent frontal system rolling through there. And then again, we might keep that troughing going and additional systems all the way through January 7th. What happens after that? Anybody's guess at this point, but we'll continue to watch that on a daily basis. Accumulated positive snow depth change in inches. So we'll scroll through here over the next 6 days, and you can see we might add a couple feet of snow or even more for some locations. So definitely not a bad look to the snowpack so far this year as we get on into the first week of January. And there's the 6 to 10 day, kind of a broad brush above normal across much of the state of California to the left of the screen. And there's the above normal signal still there as we go through January 8th. Check out the Patreon page. Hopefully you guys are having a good day, and I will catch you guys in tomorrow's forecast.
It's December 30th. We are heading for New Year's Eve, and we've got weather coming our way. We've got two weather systems, one to the north, one to the south. This is the one from the south. This is Santa Barbara this morning, mid-morning, and those clouds are going to bring a little bit of rain. They're bringing rain offshore right now. Two systems coming in, one from the north, this one from the south. So you're going to get a few sprinkles down there, right? That's going to be wet for New Year's. Precipitation, and it will. This is the lift. This solid layer in the Central Valley.